Hey guys, welcome in. It's about that time, Power of 50 time. I am today's the deadline for the authors to be submitting their stories. And I shared with you guys yesterday that some of them had sent them in a little bit early, and so we've gotten a good run on getting this into production. But I want to talk to you specifically. One of the stories that came in from one of the authors yesterday was really unique and touched me in a really special way, and it prompted me to want to share with you guys um, a conversation about healing. And I think a lot of times we tend to hesitate on healing, even when we know it needs to take place. We don't want to face what we have to face. And so fear stops us from doing a lot of those things. So I want to have that conversation. So if you guys get a chance, share this video out, no matter what platform you're seeing it on. If you're catching it live, awesome. If you're catching it on one of the platforms on a replay, cool. I love it. I appreciate you just the same. But please share it out because we're going to talk about healing today in in a little bit different way than the context that you may be expecting. So share the video out as you come in. Welcome to the Power 50 community, guys. My name is Marci Batiste. I'm an ultimate power coach, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And really my role as a life coach and trainer is to help you disrupt your toxic thoughts and end your self-sabotaging behavior so that you can create a custom fitted life that you truly love to live. And healing is a huge part of that. So in addition to welcoming you to the Power 50 community, welcome to the Ultimate Power Team. That's what we are all about here. Power 50 is a community created to educate, encourage, and empower women to pursue their dreams, go after their passions, reclaim their power, exercise their passions, live with purpose, that type of thing. We want to share the Power 50 book that's coming out in December is designed to do two things. Number one is going to reach back to the women who are coming after us, not yet in the circle of elders of 50 plus, um, and encourage them that no matter what they're going through, there's somebody that has walked a similar path as you. Somebody has overcame the same things that you've overcome. Someone has gone through it. Someone has survived. They have thrived. They have created a new life beyond. As I say, there is power after the pain. And that's one of the things that we want to demonstrate with the Power of 50 book for these women who are coming after us, who are still going through things little uncertain. What I shared with the ladies when they were writing their stories and sharing their life lessons is share something that you wish you had known sooner, something that you wish someone had told you about becoming a woman, about becoming your best self. What would you have wanted to know? What did you go through that you feel had you known where those landmines were, you could have sidestepped and avoided, right? So that's one part. The second part of the Power of 50 book is to demonstrate to women who are on the cusp and over 50, it's not too late, girlfriend. It's not too late. You can still pursue the dream, quit the job, start the business, go on the vacation, get married, get divorced, whatever it is that you want to do. It's not too late. Literally 50 is just the beginning. Like I feel like for me, I feel like I'm turning 50 in December. I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like I just got my feet set firmly on the ground. I feel like I just really now know what my path is, what my purpose really truly is. I've spent the last 5 years in very intentional investments of personal development and things like that to figure that all out, to figure it out. And now I'm finally in a place where I'm like, okay, I get it. I see the whole vision all grown up, and it's super dope. It really is. So that's what the Power 50 book is all about. Today's conversation, though, is about healing. And so I shared with you that one of the ladies had sent in her story for the book, and my job as the publisher and doing all the production of it, as well as being one of the contributing authors, is to compile all the stories, do the pre-edits before it goes off to the editor. And I read the story, and this is a lady that I've known for a while. I knew bits and pieces of her story, and I kind of knew the general direction she was going because I've met with all the women to find out what do they want to submit. And we're not super close, but I feel like I have a good grasp on where she comes from and all that kind of stuff. And all I can say when I read her story was, wow. By the time I was done, I had tears in my eyes. I had tears in my eyes because her story is her truth. Her story is about, it's a letter to her father. And she's sharing with him a very painful experience from back in her childhood. And I'm not going to go into all the details because I don't want to give away the book. Y'all really got to buy the book. But this one particular story, you guys, she's sharing with him a particular moment in time, a particular incident in her life, which had he had handled it a different way, would have potentially changed the entire trajectory of her life and how she relates to men, how she relates to relationships, how she forms friendships, how she viewed herself as an individual, as a human being, and more importantly, as a woman, how she viewed her value. But because how he chose to handle the situation was essentially to place some blame on her for what had happened to her, she no longer felt that she had any value, that it was truly her fault, that what had happened to her was her fault. And, we can look back now and say 50 years later, maybe he handled it the best way he could. Maybe he didn't know how to handle it. Maybe he was so torn up by it that he didn't know what else to do or what else to say. Did he handle it right or wrong? We're not here to cast judgment on that. But for her to be able to now, and the reason why I'm sharing this part of it, you guys, is because I want you to know that there's not a timeline for healing. It's never too late to start healing. It's never too soon to begin healing. There's no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no rules to how you heal. Like, it's not like it goes on this certain path that says, okay, after 6 months after incident, then you need to be doing this, and a year after incident, you need to be doing that. It doesn't work like that. It would be cool if it did, because it would make shit a whole lot easier to get over when you're violated, when you're traumatized, when you've been abused. If you had a specific time schedule to say, okay, in 1 year, 7 months, 13 days, in 26 hours, I'm going to be healed, that would be great. It would be so cool. But it doesn't work that way. And some people, you're going to have to heal and progress at your own pace and at your own rate. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're healing wrong, because you're going to have to go through what you're going to have to go through. Now, there's some certain pieces. Hey, Donovan, there's some certain pieces of the healing process that you can pretty much count on. There's going to be grief. There's going to be anger. You're going to want to place blame on people. But then once you've gone through kind of that piece of it, then you walk into acceptance. Like, okay, it's happened. Now what? And then from that point, it goes into forgiveness. And that's where the healing really, really, really hits home. Really hits home. That acceptance and that forgiveness piece. Once you get there, baby, let me tell you, it's a game changer, you guys. But it's not a time schedule. So, and the reason why I'm harping on that is because so many times we've gone through shit from way back when that has hurt us, that has devastated us, that has caused us to make so many other piss poor decisions. And we're holding ourselves responsible for those bad decisions. Yes, it's a choice. Yes, you made a decision. Yes, you might have screwed up. Yes, you did some stuff wrong. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm not saying I didn't. And like I tell you all the time, no judgment, no shade, I promise you. But there's not a right or wrong. There's not a right or wrong. So when you decide that the time is right for you to begin to heal. So this lady that submitted this story is over 50 years old. And this is literally the first time she's speaking on it. The first time she's speaking on a violation that happened over 40 years ago. And you know why? Because she has a safe space to do it. She has a platform to do it. If she had somebody in her corner that said, girl, you got this. When she and I sat down, I said, you can do this. You have to do this. And you don't have to do this for the book. I don't even care if we put your story in the book. But you have to do this for you. You have to do this so that you can release that pain and that frustration and that anger and that hurt that's been holding on to you for 40 years. Literally 40 years. Can you imagine having a secret for 40 freaking years that you've never told a soul? You've never, ever, ever addressed the person that you were harboring the frustration and the anger and the resentment towards, but yet you're in relation with them because there's someone who's important to you, your father. She's a daddy's girl. How do you reconcile that for 40 years and never speak on it? Do you think honestly you can heal until you no? Because that elephant is always going to be in the room. Every time you and he are together, no matter if you try and push it back and you try and say, no, I don't want, no, I'm over it. I'm not going to think about that anymore. It's always there, just beneath the surface. But the more important thing is not only is it always there, not only is it always in that space, not only is it always in part of you, it constantly guides how you make choices. It constantly, subconsciously guides how you make choices because that is still telling you what your value is or what your value isn't. You're still looking back through the eyes of this 12, 13, 10-year-old girl and saying, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve it? I'm bad. I'm unworthy. I have no value. I have no worth. I deserve what happens to me. Those tracks were laid over 40 years ago. She's never spoken on them until now. And when I read this story, I'm telling you guys, I was literally in tears. And I immediately got on the phone with her and I said, you know what? I said, girl, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I said, how do you feel? And she said, I am sick to my stomach. I want to throw up. My chest literally aches. I'm terrified. And so she's processing all these emotions. Those emotions have been there for 40 years, guys. They've been there for 40 years. These emotions aren't new. And so what I told her is I said, yeah, it hurts. Yes, you feel sick. Yes, your chest hurts. Yes, there's a sting. I said, it's because you have ripped a Band-Aid off of a wound from 40 years ago. And you are just now letting air and sunshine hit it. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting. But guess what? Just like a cut on your hand when you pull a Band-Aid off and you finally let the air and the sunshine hit it, guess what? Then and only then does it begin to heal. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, you pull a Band-Aid off your hand or whatever and it's been on for a few days and your skin looks kind of raw and it looks kind of icky and kind of sticky and kind of sometimes, depending on how deep your cut was, it kind of has this kind of icky smell and it's just nasty. Guess what? That happens on the inside when we don't deal with emotional baggage. What you can see on your hand with a cut and from that wound, the wound is still there, even if it's inside, even if it's below the surface, even if you can't feel it. Even if you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, you can't prove that it's there. So it's easy to say, I'm good, I'm fine. No, I'm fine, I'm good. No, I'm. But inside, the wound is still there. And so when I talked to her and she was sharing with me how she was feeling, I said, you know what? Take some time. I said, I want you to feel all of that. Because as grateful as I am that she shared this in the book, I'd tear it up today and throw it in the trash, burn it, shred it, whatever. Because this was more about her healing when I knew what she was going through. This process was about her healing. And I knew from personal experience that sometimes once you get it out on paper, it's there and you can leave it there. And that's what this was for her. This was a challenge for her. And I'm so proud of how she handled it. I'm so proud of her courage. And the way she wrote it is absolutely beautiful. There was no resentment. There was no finger pointing. She simply restored ownership for that pain back to the rightful owner. That wasn't hers to carry. And so she was able to transfer ownership to the pain, speak on it, put light on it, give air to it, breathe through it so that she can heal beyond it. 40 years, guys, never spoke on this trauma ever. And she shared this story in the Power of 50 book. And I guarantee you that you read her story, it's going to change your life. You read this letter that she wrote, and it's going to change your life. And that's what this book is about. That's what this community is about. It is about healing. It's about helping, restoring. Like I said, educate, encourage, and empower. That's what this is all about. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's sharing her story. She's sharing her experience. She got completely naked with it. And she let you all the way in. And now she can begin to heal. So if she can do that after 40 plus years, that thing that pissed you off a few months ago, you got this. You can deal with it. It's okay. You got it. And if you have questions, that's what the Power 50 community is about. There's links with the broadcast. Join the community, male or female. You're welcome to the community. It's geared towards helping encourage, empower, and educate women, but we never want to forget the significant role that men play in our lives, families, and our communities. So fellas, welcome in. We'd love to hear your contributions. We'd love to have your support. Ladies, there's also a special Facebook group just for the women called Womenhood and Wisdom, the Power 50 Womenhood and Wisdom. So join the group. It's confidential, it's secret, it's private, whatever, closed. And so that's where we're going to get really nitty gritty with it. But I'm telling you what, guys, this book is going to change lives. It's going to change lives. This community is going to change lives. So if you're going through something, if you've been through something and you haven't quite gotten the courage to heal from it, you know it's kind of dragging on, you know it's kind of out there, it's not too late. It's not too late. Just get started. Once you speak on it, you can heal it. If you need resources, hit me up. My inbox is open 24/7, 365, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow with another Power 50 broadcast. Have a great day.